Yep.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Rock Fantasy Files interview series. Tonight I'm sitting down with members of YY3. They're a Long Island-based Rush tribute who will be performing this Saturday night at Quinnz Pinz in Middletown, New York. Welcome to the show, guys. It's a pleasure to have you on. Who do we have the pleasure of speaking with tonight? Introduce yourselves.
Thank you. Well, all three of us here. My name is Greg Hawk. I am the Getty in the band.
I'm Sam. I'm the Alex Lifeson of the band.
And my name's Rich. I'm the Neil Peart of the band.
Cool.
Yep.
How long have you guys had this band together? A lot of people that are viewing this may have not heard of you. Maybe some people have seen you a few times. Try to get a little of your history.
Well, we put this together a little over 10 years ago under a different name. The three of us, three guys you have here, and did that for a couple of years, playing around. Then we got off into divergent things. Life took over, and we had to put a cap on it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And we reformed this trio under this name, which we thought was better than the original one was.
Hemispheres.
It was Hemispheres. Now, Sam, in his genius, thought up YY3.
Thank you.
Which is a real good. We like it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we put this back together about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, something like that.
Mhm.
And refired the machine, upgraded a bunch of electronics, upgraded a bunch of instrumentation, and buckled down and started delving deeper into the classic catalog with hopes to go forward into virtually all sectors, depending on audience and interest and location and stuff like that. So we plan on being, and started in the process of being fully adaptable. And we kind of take a lot of pride in the fact that we are only three.
Mhm.
And we've seen a bunch of tributes of all kinds, but specifically Rush, where they bring in a fourth member or fifth member. We pride ourselves in the fact that's why the name is YY3, a play on the YYZ, and it gives you the idea that we are only three. So we do it all soup to nuts. There's no off-stage nonsense. There's nobody playing an instrument or a keyboard behind us. Everything is done. All the sounds you hear live are played and in one song. Because he's a drummer, but he's a musician.
Yeah,
And Greg and I are playing the keyboards with our feet as well.
Yeah.
And all the electronic, all the sounds and samples, they're all triggered by Rich or by me or by Greg.
Yeah.
So there's nobody, like he said off stage doing anything to help us out. It's just the three of us.
Just three of us. And that's the way it will be. It's the way it was for them. That's the way it is for us.
Yep.
sounds great. Yeah, you'll be the first Rush tribute that we've had here in the club, and I've been trying to search one out for quite a while because I'm a big Rush fan. Saw them in '78, might be the Hemispheres tour, and it might be the best concert I've ever seen. I've seen quite a few concerts
That's the best tour they had.
That's the first show I saw.
It was
the first tour I was at.
Okay.
My favorite rap.
Yeah.
Where did you see that tour, Greg?
We're playing the entire world.
No, I said, where did you see that? Where did? Okay.
The Good Rats opened up.
Okay. Oh, the Good Rats opened up. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you get that? Was it a little bit lag?
There is a little lag going on. I'm never
was.
quite sure if
I was
this is
a
actually
show.
coming across to the viewers later on, or whether it's just my internet being wacky, or you never know with Zoom world. So
Okay.
yeah, let's talk. You started to go into a little bit. So those that are in the tri-state area, Hudson Valley area, Middletown area, these guys will be performing Saturday night. It's a cheap night out in Middletown. It's $10 cover at the door and full service restaurant on board. You can come in early. You can go bowling. You can have the kids go bowling while you watch the band. This is all ages, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But you've kind of set up a set list for Saturday night. You're going to do 2 sets, so let's hear about that a little bit.
Yeah, we well, like when you and I were talking, I want to do something special. We want to do something special. So we basically took the set that we had been playing, which was basically the Exit Stage Left set from top to bottom, the live album.
Yeah.
and we added in, and I don't even think Rush has ever done this in their entirety on the same night. We added in both side one of Hemispheres and side one of 2112 in their entirety. All 18 minutes of Hemispheres and all 20 minutes of 2112.
Mm-hmm.
So those two pieces will be played top to bottom, all soup to nuts, bells and whistles, the whole nine.
As well as the exit stage left stuff.
As well as most of, I would say 90% of the ESL stuff.
That's
So
awesome.
that's what we're doing next week. We're ready for it. We just finished rehearsals, some final little,
Tweaks.
polishing up some tweaks and stuff. So we're ready to go.
Absolutely.
Double necks included, the whole thing. So
Cool,
it'll be a
cool.
lot of fun. It'll be a lot of playing, but it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be an excellent night. I look forward
Yeah.
to it, of course. And what made you fans of the band Rush, the band that you're paying homage to? You already
Well-
kind of mentioned your first show, Greg, was Hemispheres.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little younger than Greg, so I got into Hemisphere at the same time though, but I never saw them on tour until the Signals tour. But so I was into them in the 70s as well. That's kind of my favorite time period. And what's weird is I never thought of playing Rush. I've been playing guitar since I was 7, but I never thought of playing Rush until I got together with these two guys back in 2011, 12, or whatever it was. And I can't imagine playing anything else. It's just my favorite band. It's playing the songs it's very complicated to play, but when you get it right, it's very rewarding and it's a lot of fun.
As a musician, you really can't. There's very few bands that go past this when it comes to accuracy and musicianship and the interplay.
Yeah.
I mean, I've told people for years, it's like they might not be your favorite band, but you can't tell me that there's not 3 guys that play better together. I don't know, even in bands that are technically more complicated, I can't name me one band that plays better off each other than these 3 guys. I mean, that's always been, regardless of the era, regardless of the album, 74 or 2015, it doesn't matter. There's not 3 guys that play better together, to me. And it's always a challenge. And when you get it right, even if only the 3 of you know you got it right, it's amazingly rewarding as a musician. You strive for perfection. You strive to be able to nail it. And when you nail it, it's like one of the best feelings in the world.
Right.
Rich,
Rich, when did you get
Sure.
into
when did you go?
My first show was Moving Pictures back in 81, and that solidified it for me. You hear that growl from Tom Sawyer and you go, oh, what's this? And then YYZ, hearing that the first time through and saying, I've been playing drums since I was about 8, roughly the same age as Sam. And I wanted to be Peter Criss. And then I heard Exit Stage Left and went, wait a minute, let me see if I can do this.
There's another guy who's better than that.
Yeah, exactly. So no disrespect to Peter Criss.
No.
But had it not been for the 100,000 Years drum solo, I probably wouldn't have been a drummer at all. But I hear that. And then, of course, Exit Stage Left comes along. And, that's 2 minutes and 20 seconds of absolute perfection when he does that solo. And I did it recently, and it takes everything you've got. And it's fun when you get it right. And it's impressive as heck that he could just write this stuff and come up with it. And that's what inspired me to want to play his material. Also, I had an excuse to get more drums.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We all have a bad, well, I will say this. Rich and I, not so much Sam, but Rich and I have a bad case of GAS, which is gear acquisition syndrome. And we have to keep buying more stuff for some reason to make more noise and create more sounds and be able to do all of this. So we, more basses, more keyboards, more effects pedals, Rich is with more drums, more samplers, more, it's just more. So we just keep trying to add to the presentation and make it that much better.
Yeah,
Plus
Saturday.
the show.
Yeah.
That's part of it too.
Saturday, I'm looking to restore a couple of things before then, but I'm hopeful to bring out my replica of the Black Hemispheres kit.
Wow, that's gonna be amazing.
Possible Starman bass drums, etc. All of that. There's a look to that particular era that's important, and Slingerland doesn't make those kind of drums anymore. So I have a slightly different kit, but they don't make.
They're out of business.
No, Slingerland
They're still around?
still makes a couple of drums. They have snares, etc., but they don't make the 24-inch bass drums. They don't make the, you know, all the concert toms, etc. But mine will do the job, and hopefully we have the visual impression that everybody's looking forward to.
Because the music's there.
How if you measure that drum kit, what's it fit? Is it a 10 foot wide, 8 foot wide?
No,
or-
no, 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 no.
No.
No, it's so I have a 5x7 rug,
Okay.
and even the full hemispheres double bass kit will fit on the 5x7 rug.
Okay.
And I was nice. I didn't bring the orchestra chimes and things along those lines. I have electronics for those.
Oh, you can bring them. We're not going to tell you not to.
Oh no, that would yeah. The problem is, you know, you can't fold them up.
No,
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough to transport. Yep.
And a good set of orchestra chimes is about 600 pounds. You know, we're
Wow.
not blowing.
Yeah.
That's samplers, you know. So we have those on the samplers, and
Cool.
you know, quite a few bells and whistles, as Greg said. We have all the bells and whistles loaded, and
Including bells and whistles.
bells and whistles. Yeah.
You know.
Yep. And I might have kind of had this question already, but we're going to talk about Rush still. We'll start with Greg. Maybe you mentioned this already. What is your favorite Rush album?
Hemispheres.
What's your least favorite Rush album?
Least favorite.
No, I'm being tough. Is there one? Tough, right?
By least favorite, obviously I like all of them. I love a few of them. The one I probably listen to the least would be probably Vapor Trails.
Okay.
I know any Rush fan know, well, they were coming out of massive tragedy.
Yes.
After Neil's daughter and wife passed away within a year, and he went on a trip for about 60,000 miles.
Yep.
So that album seems very kind of focused in one area, which I totally understand. But just the fact that they were able to make it and get back out on the road,
Yep.
and put the whole machine back together again, I think was cathartic for everybody's mental state in different areas. Like Geddy and Alex were happy to have their brother back, and Neil was just happy to be able to get back. So that's probably my least favorite, but I still love the record. It just it's I know what they were. I kind of sense what they were going for, and a diehard Rush fan is going to give them a lot of leeway because we know how creative the band was and how you know, like I think Jack Black even said it in the documentary. He said this is a band that was shaking the rocket to us for decades, and the creativity was spilling out,
and they never ran out.
It never ran out. The ideas kept flowing musically, lyrically. You know, there's a reference that the three of us have for this band. No other band, in my eyes, no other band compares. You know, I have other favorites, of course, some more metal, some a little more, you know, mainstream, but these guys are the kings for me, top to bottom. And Geddy is, as a bass player, Geddy is like, I have friends of mine who started playing bass and they wanted to be as good as Gene Simmons. And I started playing bass and I want to be as good as Geddy Lee. And if I even only got halfway to Geddy, I was already 100 miles past Gene. So no offense to Gene, great player, different vibe altogether, but it's such a challenge to be able to rep. That's why Hemisphere is my favorite record. He's basically soloing the entire album. You know, as a bass player, it's amazing. The guy just killer.
Yeah, Hemispheres is my favorite album too. That's what Greg and I bonded on when we started talking about.
It was an innocuous comment too.
Yeah, I just told him at one point. You know, I said, "Hey, just for the hell of it, why don't we just get together and I'd love to play the song Hemispheres in its totality live just once."
We're finally gonna get a chance.
We're finally gonna get a chance to do it. But my least favorite album would have to be Test for Echo. For no other reason except that I think the other albums are just better song wise. But I mean, it's not a horrible album, but just probably the one I would listen to the least.
Just because I can be different. Album is a fan least favorite in some cases, and it's Grace Under Pressure. I am a big fan of the synthesizer era. I love all the bells and whistles. I love all the electronic sounds. So Grace Under Pressure is the album for me that was probably one of the tightest sounds that they had. And funny enough, it's the one where they were post Terry Brown and trying to find their way around again. So yeah, and when I was 15, we had the option of playing, different songs for a music teacher festival, and to try and get your gold medal. And Genius here chooses Red Lenses. Luckily, I got the gold medal, but that was one hell of a challenge. So especially on an acoustic kit.
Yeah.
But that album for me is my all-time favorite. My least favorite, again, like Greg said, they're all amazing. Snakes and Arrows. I just can't get as into that album as I do with others. Snakes and Arrows is probably the one that I play the least often. But definitely Grace Under Pressure is the one that sets me on fire.
So there's a really good cross section of where our focus is from 74 on up.
As we're all blurry on the screen.
Yeah.
Mention focus.
Yeah, Greg only gets blurry once in a while. He's fading in from one dimension of hemispheres to another.
Yes.
Yeah.
In real life too.
He's in the sphere.
I'm in the sphere. Yeah, so between the three of us, Rich and I have known each other for over 40 years. 45 years probably.
Yeah.
Sam and I have been friends for about 30, actually longer than 30, 35.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a tight-knit band.
Yeah, and you guys played in the same band in your high school days.
Yeah, we did play in a thrash metal band back in the mid-'80s.
Oh, did you?
No,
Yeah, we did.
Never thought about playing Rush though.
We never even discussed Rush back in the day. We were playing Overkill and
Metallica
and Anthrax
all that
and
stuff.
Man of War and stuff.
That's
We
cool.
never even brought up the fact that we were both diehard Rush heads.
Yep,
We didn't even know.
that's true.
It never came up.
Uh,
We're busy trying to bludgeon audiences, and we had no idea that we both appreciated the nuance and musicianship of the trio,
Yeah,
of the Holy Trinity.
but hey, we all gotta like all different stuff, thrash
Yeah,
metal.
I mean,
Of course, we had thrash metal one week here. We'll have death metal some weeks. We got the night before you guys are there. We've got Brick by Brick, which is a hardcore band. We got like a hardcore show Friday night. So,
nice.
but yeah, you're talking about Overkill. If you're fans of Overkill, Bobby Blitz lives in the area, and he actually comes by the club once in a while.
I know. My buddy Jamie was up there with was it Show No Mercy, the Slayer tribute?
Yeah.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, my buddy was up there, and I saw pictures that he posted with Blitz there.
Yeah.
I've seen Overkill probably a dozen times, and I've been in the pit at Overkill shows. There's no more violent place on earth.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it now, but I did it back in the day. I must have seen him at Lemoore like every other week for about 3 years.
Mhm.
Love that band. And that genre of music, to me, there's no one better. And they're brutal live. And if you can get Blizz to come out and see us, he can come up and sing.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll want to do that, but Psycho Prism was there a couple weeks ago, band out of Jersey, and they were doing a cover, and they kind of walked up to him in the crowd and held the mic and kind of forced him to, I think. But yeah, it was all good fun. But so you guys like different types
of exactly wilting flower, Blitz.
So just a fun question. What's the last concert you attended that wasn't a concert you performed at with your band? Like, what did you go see? Are you guys active going to shows or?
Out of the major bands, I think the last band I saw was Rush on there. The 2015, the last tour. I don't get out too much.
So it's been a while since you've been out and about. Yeah.
Yeah, I get out a lot less than these two guys do. But Greg, I think, goes to a lot more shows than I do. So I think
Rich, you
have to think of what my last show was. Last show that I was at, not a major band, but one of the major tribute acts was Killer Queen. Saw them, funny enough, at Queens College. They were amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah, my kids were into it. We were sitting third row, and we actually stopped the bass player in his tracks during Under Pressure because my kids were singing every lyric. And they were only 3 and 5 at the time, so that their minds. But yeah, I'm a huge theater nerd, so I'm not so much going to concerts, but going to theater stuff.
Mhm.
But if you had to talk a concert, it was Killer Queen.
Cool.
The last one I was at, I had this past summer. I was going out a lot. Overkill at the Paramount.
Yeah, was that last summer?
That was this past
Yeah, this
August.
past year. Yep.
On the Scorch tour.
Yeah.
They were amazing.
Yeah.
And then a week after that, I was at the Paramount again out in Huntington on Long Island and saw Extreme and Living
Okay.
Color. And let me tell you, it doesn't matter how old those two bands get. Living Color was ridiculous. And Extreme, I'm not a guitar player. I couldn't take my eyes off of Nuno Betancourt. So one of the best guitar players I've ever seen in a live environment. They were phenomenal. And I've seen them before, but they were just amazing. I mean, it's like, you know, I'm in a couple other bands. I'm in one other band, specifically in the guitar player. One of the guitar players says, I'm going to buy everybody tickets. We're going to go to Extreme as a band. So we went, and they just smoked the room. Nuno was that good. But I'm preaching to the choir because everybody knows how good that guy.
Yeah.
You know.
So
But yeah, so I mean, I try to get out as much as I can. I'm like the, I don't know, social butterfly of this band.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You know, I got to be the one out.
You're the one I'm talking to about booking shows, all that stuff. Yeah.
Hanging with people.
The last time I brought up Rush on this channel was a couple of years ago. It was when we got the Rush pinball machine. I'm a big pinball buff. We have almost 50 pinball machines in the record shop, which is about 2 minutes from Quinnz, and we have about 20 pinballs located at the venue too. But you guys are so into Rush, obviously, because you're doing a band, you're revolving your whole life around them. They came out with a pinball machine 2 years ago that I don't know if you guys are familiar with it or gotten a chance to play it. And I invite you to come to Middletown a little early to stop by regardless and come to the shop on Saturday. But
yeah, that'd be great.
It's an amazing journey to play this pinball machine. I mean, and it has videos and footage from the beginning all the way to the final tour. It's very in-depth, and I still cannot believe that they made a Rush pinball machine, and it's amazing. It did come out during the pandemic. I don't think it's got as much
beer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's beer, but this pinball, I wait till you see it. There's screens and footage and everything else. If anybody around the world is a Rush fan, check it out. Last time I did a Rush episode, I actually had the designers of the game on, and we were talking ranking Rush albums or doing something. But
yeah, Getty and Alex really have their irons in different fires. Apparently, there's even a Rush mustard now.
Yes.
So
Rush mustard.
It's called mustard.
I was actually, I've had a long weekend. In fact, my last show, we're talking about last shows, I was at the Kiss show at the Garden last night, which was pretty epic. And it's our final show. Of course, we probably wouldn't bet that with a gun to our head because I've seen the Scorpions final tour. I saw the Who's final tour. And I've seen the 82 at Shea. And I've seen, and we can go see those. Somehow we can still go see the Who and Scorpions again. I was like, and then of course they'll say, "Oh, you guys missed us so much. We're back." But anyhow, now I've lost track of my mindset. But yeah, my last show was Kiss last night, and it's just like people talk about sometimes about tribute bands. Like I'll get you get the flack. You guys might hear it too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's a tribute band. I'm like, yeah. But it keeps the music alive because a lot of our heroes are not around anymore, or not in it, or the bands are defunct. I mean, that's last night when I was driving home from the city. I'm about an hour and a half. Traffic was brutal coming out of Manhattan last night for some reason, but it was like, I thought how I won't see Paul Stanley on a stage again with Kiss and Gene, and I think, Sabbath, I think Rush, I think Allman Brothers, I think of all these like bands that just ruled the 70s. And we're talking bands from the 80s that are starting to disappear too. And like bands like you guys I mean, yeah, it's not the actual artist, but when you go to see, you get that live music presentation where you're not going to get that, you know, just from listening to it on a record or, you know, through your through your streaming media stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's the key. At least, I mean, I have a bunch of friends that play in different tributes. Some guys in Almost Queen.
Oh, Almost
Um,
Queen. I was going to
Yeah.
mention them because when he mentioned that band, they played Middletown a couple times, once at the fair in town, and then they played our historic old theater, the Paramount. Those guys are great, and they're such cool people.
Yeah, and I'm friends with both the drummer and the bass player.
Yeah.
Those guys, I know a bunch of other people in tribute bands, some in Beatles bands. My buddy of mine is in a Beatles band and a Black Sabbath band. Figure that one out. He plays John Lennon in one and Tony Iommi in the other.
Wow.
I joke with him all the time. I said, "What happens if you go up and forget which band you're in?" And he goes, "I'll get fired." Stop playing Iron Man. I want to hold your Iron Man.
Yeah.
You know? But you're right. When it comes to that kind of thing, it's like tributes. There's a certain and it's what we try to do sonically is to replicate everything you hear on record with the same tones, with the same with the same guitar sounds, same bass tones, the same gear. I have a couple of Rickenbacker basses. Try to replicate Geddy's tone as quick as close as possible.
Yeah.
The keyboard sounds we program. We deal with people that can set up programs for us. Rich is got that. He's the technical guy in the band. And try to get everything as close to the record as possible. Because like you said, when the bands disappear, when these legacy bands all go away, whether it's Floyd or Sabbath retired or Iron Maiden is empty in the tank right now, they're going heavy for a couple of years until Steve decides it's over. And it will be Steve that decides when it's over. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
But how long can Nico keep playing this? I mean, the guy had a stroke last year and he's 71 years old.
Yes.
How long can he do an hour and a half, 2 hour Maiden show and play at that level?
Exactly.
So as these bands slowly fade away, and it's a shame because I don't see a lot of bands coming up behind them. Back in those days, every big band we ever grew up listening to had a unique tonality, had a unique sound, whether it's Zeppelin or Queen or Floyd or Rush or Sabbath or Priest or Maiden. Everybody had something. You could hear 3 seconds of one song and you knew who you were listening to.
Yes.
There's so many carbon copy cutouts now, it's not the same. But we try to keep it going. We try to keep it alive. And in Rush's case, you're never going to hear Geddy, Alex, and Neil again.
Nope, exactly.
So, we do our best. And like Rich was saying before, to pull off Neil, phenomenal job doing it. And same thing with Sam. I try to do my part. It's a labor of love for the three of us. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's a hell of a lot of fun, especially when you nail it. There have been times you played live and going through the song, you're so concentrated on what you're doing and making sure you don't mess up.
Yeah.
By the time you're done and your brain is smoking, you look back at the other guy. Did we just nail that? And I see we just recently did a gig and we had a little technical problem on Jacob's Ladder. And I look back at Rich when the song is over and he's got this smile on his face like, yeah, we had something fail and nobody knows. Because we pulled it off. And that, as a musician, that is amazingly satisfying to be able to do that. And we're really looking forward to coming up there next week.
Yeah. Cool.
And I'm showing you guys. Sam's knocking a thing over here.
It's been a
long, like
there's plenty of extra gear.
We have gear all over this room. Take a scan of the room.
That's
unfortunately, you've got the background on fade, so we can't really see it. But you can kind of see it. It's like that. It's like someone doing a hidden video. It's like, this is like the this is the stuff that released pre.
Literally the drum kit. If you could only see it. The drum kit goes about Almost 300 degrees.
Yeah.
So, and it certainly feels like that when I'm playing. The keyboards, you know, we got a couple of keyboards running through Apple Main Stage.
Yeah.
Sam has everything in a tiny little shoebox, we call it. Yeah, he's got the easy bake oven that, you know, everything's in there. But yeah, the equipment thing, if you're going to do Rush, you've already committed. You got to do the equipment.
About the gear.
Yeah, it's half of it is that about the gear.
Yeah.
You know, and then lugging all of that around and saying, okay, fine, you know, we got it. We can do this. So, and again, that's why I want to bring the hemisphere style kit.
I can't wait.
So that people walk in and see the, you know, the double Starmen and go, oh my.
I know that our sound guy Augie, who is looking extremely forward to this gig this week. I think I forward someone his number so you guys can talk with him, but he is a big Rush fan and he can't wait to do sound for you guys this week.
Oh, that's great. Awesome. Wait till he tries to mic the drum kit.
He might not like you as much then.
He might not like me as much.
Well, if he's a Rush fan, he knows it's gonna be.
Yeah, so you guys reach out to him, but it's been a void in Middletown because we haven't had a Rush tribute. I've had quite a few people ask me, and that's how I kind of looked and, you know, and dug and found you guys a little bit out of the area, of course, from Long Island, but we've been bringing a lot of Long Island bands up here, and we've had Red Hot a couple weeks ago, the Motley Crue girls. We have Show Mercy comes up, and we're bringing up.
Yeah, I asked Jamie about you guys. He said it was a great gig. He loved playing up there. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun. We had a couple summers ago at the fairgrounds. We have a big fairgrounds in town, and they bring in tribute bands, national ones. They've had Rush Hour, which were a 3-piece out of Orlando.
Yep.
So that's the last time we've had a Rush tribute. We used to have Limelight, who I'm friends with, but they weren't taking on any more gigs at the moment. So we tried for them earlier last year, but it'll be you guys, and I can't wait to have you guys there. How do if someone's watching us around the world and wants to check you guys out, how do we find you on the World Wide Web?
You can go to the websites, YY3band.com.
Okay.
Or the Facebook page.
Or Facebook page, or search YouTube for YY3 Rush Tribute, and you'll see one of our demos.
Yeah.
Quite a few different ways. And, you know, the demos are all, you know, studio recorded. That's us.
Yep. Yeah, that's now that's all. We tracked everything. There's a promo video on there. Did I send you? I think I might have sent you the link to it, didn't I?
I think you probably have.
Yeah, I think I did.
Yep.
So, we're accessible that way.
Cool.
And just like I said,
sounds great. And I look forward to seeing you guys and anyone that's in the area and the listening and that can hear us that's in the tri-state area, New York City, Connecticut, PA. Take a ride out to Quinnz this weekend and hang out. Come to the record shop first and come listen to some Rush, have some tasty beverages and something to eat, and we'll all have a great evening. And look forward to seeing you guys this Saturday. And I guess we'll wrap this interview up unless you guys got anything you'd like to add.
Yeah, I just want to say we're also represented by PDT Entertainment, based out of Long Island.
Okay.
So if you can look them up too on the Facebook page or website, you can find them.
They represent a lot of great bands.
Yeah, they do a lot of good tributes and stuff like that. We're hooked up with them pretty good. Patty does a great job, and we're looking forward to coming up. Like I said, we just finished rehearsal.
Can't wait
to do it.
Thanks for having us, by the way.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Of course, and I'm sure we'll get through this one, and we'll be making a date for next year, hopefully.
That'd be great.
Looking forward to it.
All right, so thanks everybody for watching on the Rock Fantasy Files. We're back on between live footage that's going on that I shoot and some interviews. We're going to start our music chats again in about a week, so we'll see you next time. Hey, mention your favorite Rush stuff or Rush talk in the comments, and I'll put some of their info in the liner notes too. So I will see you next time on the Rock Fantasy Files.